Hello everyone, welcome to a Snapshot video here on the channel. Today we will be reviewing Snapshot 23W43A, which brings in new 1.21 features, such as what you are seeing behind me. We get chiseled copper, copper grates, and more. You even see this? Yep, a copper door. You can see it all here. Copper has almost everything now. We are missing pressure plates, buttons, and walls, but maybe at some point, right? We also got Tuff variants and many more. Let's get into the video. But before we do, I don't want to cause any confusion here because you might load into the snapshot and then join up a world and realize that you don't have these 1.21 features in the world you just created to test these things out. And what gives? Well, let me explain that right now. In order to access these features, you don't just load up the snapshot and go play one of your worlds. No, that's not how it works here. What you gotta do is create a new world, set your settings or whatever, that kind of stuff. But what you must do is go to experiments. Inside experiments, you will find 3 experimental toggles currently. 4 bundles, another one for villager trading rebalancing, which hasn't really been touched in some time now, and the one we are looking for today, Update 1.21, which adds the new features and content for the next update. Once you turn that on, you will find the new copper blocks, the new Tuff blocks, and the crafter. Then press done, it'll validate, it'll treat them like data packs, but they're not really. And yeah, once you do that, you are free to create your world and start testing out the new features before the 1.21 update releases. Alright, now that you know how to get the new features, let's talk about them. So, as we know, Tuff exists in the game, underground, in the deepest parts of your world, but it also used to be part of Geodes, remember that, during the snapshot phase of 1.17. And look at Tuff now, look how far it has come. You can now turn it into stairs, slabs, walls, and even chiseled. There's even a chiseled variation of it, and the texture on here is very interesting. You see, like, it looks like a wind. I really wonder if this is hinting at something that could be coming next week or sometime soon, But yeah, Tuff has a stair variant. It is crafted like so, like normal. You get 4 from this. Same with the slabs, crafted as normal. You get 6 from 3. And walls, you get 6 from 6. And the chiseled, well, you need 2 slabs. And then you would get chiseled Tuff. But it is much cheaper to use a stone cutter, because if you were to just put some Tuff in here, look, you can craft everything right here. And it doesn't cost you 3 Tuff blocks, for example, to make 6 slabs. You can use 1 to get 2. And you can get, well, that actually would add up if you used up 3 Tuff blocks. But yeah, you could use 6 Tuff blocks to get 6 staircases rather than 4. So much cheaper option right here. But moving on, next we have polished Tuff, which you can get by combining a 2x2 grid of Tuff in a crafting table or in your inventory, and you would get polished Tuff. And there is also a stair variant right here, crafted as normal. Just want to show you, just in case you're confused here, because, I mean, is there ever a stair in the game that is crafted differently? No. Same with the slab. We got polished slabs. Ooh, really like this texture. I was hoping Tuff would get expansion, and it did, and this is exactly how I was picturing polished Tuff to look. Crafted as normal as well. And we got the walls, and then we get this magnificent block right here. Ooh, this is what we call Tuff bricks, and it has a 3D effect texture. I really like this. This could be used really well for a dungeon. It's also much lighter. It's like in between stone bricks and deep slate bricks. Maybe I should show you a comparison of that. Alright, so we got the stone bricks, the classic, the Tuff bricks, and the deep slate bricks. As you can see, it slaps right in the middle here. You might also notice that how the, I don't know how to explain this exactly, but the big brick is on the top and most of the bricks and the 2 little bricks are on the bottom. But it actually gets flipped here on the Tuff brick. You see the 2 little bricks are up here and then the 1 big one's there. But it doesn't matter because once you place them all together, it connects up really well. See that? Very nice block. And although it is not 3D, I love the effect it gives off. To get this block, you just need a 2x2 grid of polished tuff, and then you get 4 tuff bricks. So again, use the alternative, the stone cutter. But of course, how can we have a new brick type without a new stair type? You see this? Yep, exactly the same, it's just missing 1/4 of it. See, it's not full. Anyway, yeah, not gonna go on about stairs. We got slabs as well. We got walls as well. Glad a clean block has so many variants, as well as a chiseled variant, which is crafted from the slabs. And no unique design here, it just seems to have these patterns on the top and bottom, and then this one brick right in the middle here. If you were to connect it together, it would kind of match up, you know? But you just have this big pattern gapping between the big brick here. And the top texture looks like this, and the bottom texture is the same as the top texture. So yeah, new Tuff variants. I hope calcite is next, you know? But you know what is actually next? Copper, because new copper blocks have been added. The first of the new copper blocks is the chiseled copper. As you can see, it has like a crate design, I want to say, you know? Like the X. Yeah, you can kind of use this like a crate, as a crate block. Those don't exist in Minecraft, but they kind of do now. And as it should, it oxidizes into exposed, weathered, and oxidized. And if you want to craft this, it's right over here. You just need 2 cut copper slabs and you get 1 chiseled copper. But you should really use a stone cutter. Because look, 2 of the many new copper blocks are right here. You can get 4 from 1 block of copper rather than crafting this 1 block down to... Oh, actually, wait, does that add up? Let's see here. Oh yeah, it does. Okay, never mind. But point is, you don't need to go out of your way to craft the slabs when you can just do it right here in the stone cutter. But what doesn't make sense is how it uses cut copper as its crafting recipe, but in the stone cutter it uses plain old copper blocks. So that works. That's logical, I guess. Next up, we got the greatest block of all time, the copper grate. It is a transparent block, so you can see right through it. It has like these, I want to say, star pixels that are transparent. And of course, it oxidizes. It sounds very different too. Want to listen to the sound real quick? It's like an alternative sound to chain, I want to say. Not sure how to explain it, but it's definitely different and more metal-like. And of course, it oxidizes all the way down to, well, oxidized. And this block actually has some unique properties, so let's actually show that off right now. I am in a very dark room, but if only I could just, you know, break this block for light, right? Yeah, but I still don't want a mob to see me. Well, I could just place down a copper grate, and as you can see, it lets light right through it. So this goes for a block light too, like lanterns, frog lights, etc. But yeah, natural light and I guess man-made light can go right through this block, so let's actually do something here. So if I were to dig down, grab like a frog light, let's do ochre since it matches the desert. We just patch this up. As you can see, shines right through the floor. Perfect. Perfect for a copper build. And of course, can be used as a copper window. The copper grate also has another property where it does not suffocate you if you're inside it. But unfortunately, this feature is a little bugged right now, so if I were to go here and push these into myself, well, it works just fine actually. So why did I lie to you? Well, it seems the copper grate itself works just fine. But if we were to wax it, so let's get some honey, no, not honey. Wax it right here, wax this one too, and then flip back into survival mode, put this stuff away. And then I put myself into these blocks again. As you can see, I am being YouTuber abused. Okay, I'll tell you how to craft it, jeez. Alright, so you just need 4 copper blocks right here in a order like this, and you get 4 from 4. Makes sense, right? But you could easily just get 4 from 1 here in the stone cutter. Look how better that is. You know, you get a great discount on copper grates if you use a stone cutter. If you just use your extra resources to craft a stone cutter, you get cheaper copper and other stuff. Yeah, so just use the stone cutter. But unfortunately for these next copper blocks, you are not able to use the stone cutter to craft these, but they're still pretty cool, so let's get into them. Next up, we got the best new copper block of them all. It is the copper bulb. It is a light source, so if I were to switch the time to let's go darker midnight, you can see it gives off light, like it should, because bulb is in the name. So, as you can see, it has 4 different variants because it gets older over time, like every other copper block, as you should expect. But another thing to know here is that, well, it's kind of hard to see since they're right next to each other, but the more oxidized they are, the dimmer they will be. So, the completely unoxidized normal copper bulb gives off a light level of 15, but if it gets exposed, then it gives off a light level of 12. And then the weathered copper bulb gives off a light level of 8, which light level of 8, that is actually the first light level block of 8 to be obtainable in survival as a block, you know, so we didn't have any block that gives off a light level of 8 before. And then finally, once it's fully oxidized, it will be the dimmest, giving off a whopping 4 light level. So we actually have some blocks placed over here, showing off the light better, because they're not right next to each other. So again, the copper bulb, 15. Then once it gets exposed, 12. You can even see the difference here. I hope it's nighttime. But you can actually really see the difference once we get to weathered. 8, as you can see. And then we have 4 right over here, which looks like it's not giving off any light, but if you look closely, it certainly is. And these are actually waxed, so they didn't age while recording. So if I were to get an axe, I could easily scrape off the oxidation, which will make the block brighter. So yeah, as you can see now, it is not oxidized in the slightest, so it is at its brightest. To craft a copper bulb, ooh, is it pretty expensive. You have to go to the nether first because it requires a blaze rod, which apparently gives it the power to light up. So you also need 3 copper blocks, a redstone dust, and blaze rod. I also forgot to mention, you can craft any oxidization level of any of these blocks, really, not just a copper bulb, but as you can see, we can now make a weathered copper bulb if we just put in weathered copper. So yeah, oh wait, just to show you can't mix, you can make any state of oxidized block, and you get 4 out of this expensive recipe, so it's not all that bad. And when you do craft it, it will be off by default. It is not on, you can see from the texture difference, it is off, and in order to turn it on, you need to give it a redstone signal. So as you can see, these 2 right here are now on. You can even see that there is a red dot in the middle, 4 pixels big, 2 by 2. And that's showing off that the copper bulb is powered. So if we were to turn this off, no, it does not make a teleport sound when you turn it off. That was just a wild coincidence, but yeah. Now if we power it again, the redstone dot is back, but the bulb itself is off. Turning it off, now it's back to how it was before, completely deactivated. Turning it on again, the red dot is back. Unpowering it, it just stays on. So what am I getting at here? Well, in order to activate a copper bulb, you only needed to give it 1 redstone pulse, and it will just stay on. Pretty cool, right? And then if you left it powered, the red dot will stay, indicating that it is indeed powered by redstone, even though it does not have to be in order to stay on. The last of the new copper blocks is the door and trapdoor. They have an interesting handle. It looks like a lock, but it actually doesn't mean it locks. You can open it with your hand just like normal, like wooden doors, so it doesn't act like iron doors. Same with the trapdoor, and it comes in all 4 oxidization levels. I feel like I have to say that every time, I don't know why. So you could just walk through this one like normal. It doesn't get harder to open as it ages. which would be a cool feature. But yeah, look, fully oxidized, you can go through it just fine. Imagine if it would be harder to open, the older it is. Yeah, you can open them like normal, or you could power it with redstone. Both is acceptable. And to craft them, you just need 6 copper blocks to get 3 doors. I feel like it should be ingots, like iron, but no, because it doesn't function like iron, so I guess it doesn't have to be like iron. But as we know, copper is not as strong as iron, so I guess that makes sense. You know, it's a weaker metal type. And the trapdoor, ooh, is it expensive? You need 6 copper blocks and you get 2. The normal result from crafting any trapdoor, so these are going to be pretty expensive. And they actually make a great wheel design, so you can make like a, I don't know, like a cart out of this square. Looks like a wheel, and if you noticed real closely, you can see that they share the same texture. Right here, you can see like 4 arrows connecting into this square. Same with the top of the door here, except this square is solid, while this one is a little bit hollow. And these textures share the same as the chiseled copper right over here. All the new blocks that you have seen here today will be a part of the new structure known as the trial chambers, which will be coming soon. And of course, you can get these blocks yourself, as I showed you, crafting them, so you can put them in your own builds. Very, very cool block set. We got like over 50 new blocks in this one snapshot. Pretty insane. What I am hoping for, though, is we get the copper pressure plate, copper walls, and a copper button, as well as the copper golem, because Mojang said they would add losing mobs when the time is right. And quite coincidental that we could have had a copper golem and Tuff golem, and then we get new Tuff blocks and new copper blocks. So if Mojang keeps their promise and say they will add the old losing mobs when the time is right, I see the time is right now. We can find these mobs in like the trial chambers or something, activating traps, because as we know, copper golems can press buttons and the Tuff golems can just stand around as statues holding loot. Yeah, that kind of thing. Alright, that's everything about this Snapshot 1.21 related, all the new blocks and stuff, but there's actually a feature that is a pretty big deal that will be a part of 1.20.3, and that is actually another new modeled mob. But last year, as we know, in 1.19.3, they remodeled the Vex to look more like the LA. But this year, they remodeled another mob to look, I guess, more like the current Minecraft art style and more realistic, and that is the bat. So let's go ahead and get a bat spawning. Look at that. I mean, it's flying around, but look, it's different. You know, let's go into a smaller space. I'm pretty sure you saw a glimpse of it at least, but let's go in here. And look, the bat. It's different now. Its ears and wings aren't really, I want to say, 3D anymore, you know, like a thicker texture. Now it's just like 1 pixel. And it's going crazy right now. But yeah, nothing about the bat's functionality changed. It still spawns under the same conditions, still acts the same, still drops nothing, doesn't attack you now or anything. It's just a visual difference. If you forgot what the old bat looked like, here's a picture on the screen right now. From the back, it kind of looks like it has a big head. But yeah, I like it. It's just I'm gonna miss the old iconic bat, you know? The animation also improved. I forgot to mention that. You probably saw. It has much bigger ears now too, and its wings and ear. Okay, it keeps facing away, but maybe if we spawn in a few more, you know, look, wow, more bats. Its ears now have a purple texture. But yeah, what do you think of the new bat texture? I personally like it, and they implemented this change just in time for the spooky season, which is Halloween. Almost forgot to mention, if you go into creative inventory and type copper, everything is neatly laid out right here. You see you got a row of the copper, normal copper, from copper to exposed to weathered to oxidized into waxed, and then the chiseled copper right next to it, the copper grates right next to it, then the copper right here, then the stairs, slabs, doors, trapdoors, and then bulbs right here at the end. Then all the stranglers, like the ores, the raw, and the ingot, are all down here. I really like how they are treating the creative inventory lately. Everything is neatly organized, even when searching things up. With this snapshot video now wrapping up, let's take a look at the changelog here. So as you can see, new bats are still here. By that I mean like frozen, staying still. They're not moving around like how I showed you. You can see it still rests under blocks, and now its wings are more covering its face, I want to say. But yeah, experimental features, got all the copper, the tuff, and yeah, highlighting it right here. They say all the new blocks, but I can guarantee you we do not have all the 1.21 blocks right now. There are going to be more, such as the trial spawner, and hopefully the calcite, but they're definitely going to add more blocks in this update. So some fixes down here, not many, but some. And then we got these technical changes. This to support the new bat model, new blocks, all that stuff. And as for changes, throwing ender pearls now produces a teleport sound. And then small tweaks to the telemetry data collection screen. I'm just going to pretend I know what that is. Alright, that's everything in this snapshot. But I did miss last week's snapshot, which brought in the first 1.21 feature, the crafter, so I'm going to talk about that real quick. This is the crafter block, and it does exactly as it is named after. It crafts items. But unlike a crafting table, you do not manually craft it yourself. You still have to put the items in, but in order to actually craft something, you need a redstone signal. So I have a button right here. As you can see, it just spat out some copper bulbs for me, because I put in the crafting recipe. Also, you can disable slots by clicking them like so. So if you have like a hopper or something, no items would go in those specific slots. Then click it again to re-enable these slots. And yeah, I put like all the new blocks. Well, not all of them, but some, so you can see. It automatically crafts just by a simple redstone signal. Very cool. Yes, automatic crafting now. I am sure the Minecraft community came up with great uses for this block, such as automatic farms, like, for example, you can make an iron farm and have this block automatically craft you iron blocks, so everything can be more compact in the chest, but I don't have time to show you that today. So that will wrap it up for this video here. If you enjoyed everything you've seen in this video, please consider leaving a like on the video to show that you liked the video, and turn that subscribe button gray, and turn on post notifications so you do not miss the next upload on the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video, and when the next snapshot comes out, which might bring in some new 1.21 features, I hope. And maybe after that, we'll get to know some new stuff that we did not learn during Minecraft Live. You know, because as they said, they will reveal features as development goes on, and well, folks, it seems like development is continuing. I'll see you guys in the very next video. Goodbye.